So you want to learn how to dropship the proper way and not get suspended while you're at it. Stick around, I got a real treat for you. Have a whole tutorial coming up.
Welcome to the Roughnecks. I'm Rico, your ecom instructor. I'm a software engineer, a military veteran, and a six-figure ecom seller. I've helped over 400 students on Amazon alone, and thousands more make money online. If you need to know anything about making money, you're gonna find it out right here.
Yo, welcome to the Roughnecks Ecom channel, where we talk all about making money online, doesn't matter what it is. I will be your cadre. And cadre is a fancy term for instructor. It's a military term. You guys need to learn it well because this is like boot camp. Strap in, let's make it happen. Check the links below, man. Check the description. You guys can get into the free Facebook group and get the ebook, all types of stuff, right? All types of free goodies to help you guys make money. Now, before you guys do all that stuff, just know there will be a secret code in this video, okay? Whoever puts that secret code in first inside of the comment section will get a $50 Amazon gift card sent directly to them. I will reach out to them personally. You guys, if you have followed me through my social media career, you know that over on the Two Dudes channel, because I'm one half of that duo, I tend to give away tons and tons of stuff. All right, so this channel will be no different. So let's go ahead, let's get into it. Let's talk about how this is gonna work. So guys, as you know, dropshipping on Amazon is very, very lucrative, and you guys probably wanna get into it because you see everybody doing it, which is fine, but there is a proper way to do it. Now, I know a lot of people are coming over from the eBay side doing online arbitrage, which works out great. Cash flow business over on the eBay side. Over on Amazon, it's a little bit different. It's more hectic, and at some point you will end up with some form of suspension. Okay, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Now I'm going to show you how to do it properly. We're going to get into the computer. I'm going to show you step by step what you need to do in order to not have that happen. All right, straight up tutorial. So if you guys are interested, make sure you stick around. We're going to go ahead and hop into the Roughnecks computer so I can show you exactly what to do.
Okay, everyone. We are now in the computer, like I said we were going to do, in the first half of the video. Now we're going to talk about what you guys need to start drop shipping on Amazon, at least with the manual method, okay, with private label drop shipping, as it's become known as. So first and foremost, you probably want to get an LLC. Now, getting an LLC is not a prerequisite to selling on Amazon, but it does help. And it helps because you are now protected just in case of, catastrophic events, like let's say there's a lawsuit or, something happens with one of your products, or even for tax purposes, you might have people working for you on your account, all types of things, right? You want to be able to make sure that you are structured properly and that you are safe, all right? InkNow is a site that we use to form all of our companies. It's what we use to form our holdings company, everything. Highly recommend these guys. They're super cheap. They can get you off the ground. You don't have to worry about any of it. It's inknow.com. Definitely recommend you check this guy out. We formed out of Delaware just for the sheer fact that taxes are quite nice there. I know a lot of people over on the West Coast tend to choose like Wyoming and maybe Nevada. But for us, Delaware was what worked. Now you don't have to use InkNow. You can also use LegalZoom or whoever you prefer, but this is just what we did. We recommend these guys. No, we're not affiliate, so there is no affiliate code. And yeah, next, you will need a product research tool. Now, I use Merchant Word. There are other tools out there, like Helium 10 has a good one. I think even Jungle Scout has some keyword tools, now. Unicorn Smasher, whatever. Merchant Words has always been good for, to me. It's what's helped me and my students make tons of money. So this is what I'm gonna go with. You don't have to. You could use something else, but this is what I prefer. Also, AMZ Scout Pro is a product research tool. Now, when you are selling on Amazon, you will need a product research tool unless you're doing what's called retail arbitrage. And in that case, it becomes less important as you're going to be using a lot more software to automate that process. But when you're doing manual drop shipping, private label drop shipping as it's called, or Amazon FBA, you're going to need a product research tool. You'll get hooked up. There's a free trial. You can click the link below, for a discount. I use their software. I've been using their software for years. It's what I prefer. We're going to go through a little bit of it in the next bit. But we'll take a deep dive in another video. But yes, AMZ Scout Pro, it's what I love, it's what I use, and I'm going to continue to keep using it. So, don't think I'm changing my mind anytime soon. For the people that know me, that have seen me, over there on Two Dudes, You guys know I'm all about AMZ scalping. Next, you guys will need UPCs, and UPCs are how you're going to list, preferably GS1 originated. I use this website, Nationwide Barcode. There are other sites that you can use. You do not have to use this one. I just prefer to use them because I have never had an issue with them. All of the UPCs that I've received work out great. I don't have to worry about anything. There hasn't been any, negative, any type of negative complications, nothing. I just get the barcodes, use them, we're good to go. Done and done. They come with a certificate of authenticity, all types of things that you may need. Highly recommend these guys. Again, you don't have to use them. You can get them wherever you want, but UPCs are necessary to create your listing. Since you will not be writing off anyone else's listings, you'll be creating your own private listings. Now, this is just for example. This is definitely not a product that you should be trying to get into drop shipping unless you're going to be going with wholesale. But just bear with me here. This is just going to be an example of AMZ Scout Pro. This is the trial version right here. So it will give you all of the relevant data, all of the information. So you can see here, like you can see the estimated number of sales, net margins, depending on what people are putting as far as the product costs and so on. There's FBA fees, the actual price, what the sales rank is, the number of sellers for whatever this particular product is, and a product score, which brand, number of reviews. Now for me, I typically focus on these three things here, like the estimated revenue, the number of reviews, and the reviews revenue per review. All right, so for me, I want to make sure that people are making money all the way down the boards. Now, granted, this is probably not a product that I would drop ship, but this is just for an example. You would want to make sure that you had a product that that this product was making money, not just here, not just with the top 2 sellers, not even the top 5, but that everyone down the board is doing pretty well. Right now, granted, they're not all making $100,000, but as you can see, there is room to make money here as long as you come up with a successful launch and you have a pretty good idea of what you're doing. Okay, you're not just trying to come in guns blazing thinking that you're gonna take everybody out. Again, probably not a product you should be drop shipping, but this is just for an example. You can also see the number of reviews. The number of reviews are fairly high up top. But as you trickle down, not doing so bad, people are still making money even with relatively low reviews. You can see here, 37 reviews, people are still making $8,000. So it's not to say that it can't be done, especially right here. Look at it. That's 20 reviews and these people are, making $9,000. Not bad at all. And then here's the revenue, per review. Obviously, you want to see how much money people are making for reviews. Do they have a buttload of reviews? Are they, not making any money compared to that? And so on. You can also see the niche score, which will tell you, is this something that you should get into? The saturation score, it's pretty low right now. Not tons of people are checking it out. You have your average number of reviews and your average number of price, average sales rank and monthly sales and so on and so forth. You can see how this is trending. Right now it looks like it's trending down a little bit, but this is something that you will need. You'll need a product research tool, guys. This is very, very important. You will not be able to do this properly without one, and then once you find your product, so let's just say we're going with this, we'll go to a supplier. You can use whatever supplier you prefer, but you have to go directly to that supplier. You cannot use Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, stuff like that. That is against Amazon's terms of service. You cannot use big box retailers. You have to go directly to the supplier, and you have to be the seller of record in order to do this. Okay, so you have to take responsibility for the returns, the customer service, the whole nine. Your supplier will send it directly from them to the customer as part of the third-party fulfillment, because it is your product. It is not something that Walmart is selling, because you cannot do that. You will have to be the one to handle all the logistics, since you will not be going FBA. Once you figure out if this is a good product, you will be switching that listing over to FBA, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So as you can see here, let's just say you're getting this, whatever, you're going to get this. Again, this is just an example. This is not something that you're actually going to sell. but you would get this. You can talk to the suppliers on AliExpress, or I'm sorry, not AliExpress, but Alibaba, because this is where we're at. So you can talk to the suppliers on Alibaba and they will drop ship for you guys, okay? Just because you see this right here does not mean that they will not drop ship for you through 𝗙𝗢𝗢𝗙𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗙𝗢𝗢𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙 long. But you could talk to these guys and say, hey, look, I'm trying to, get into this. I want to drop ship this product. It looks very, very good. Let's make something happen. Let's make it work. Maybe I'll prepay for some packaging. So you could do something custom for me or whatever. You're going to have to negotiate those types of things. We'll get into that in another video. But it's important that you do your due diligence, find a good niche, and then find yourself a good supplier, because they're going to be your lifeline. There's no way that you're going to be able to do this without a good supplier. I'm telling you that right now. Without a good supplier, you are totally screwed. All right. You want to make sure that you have a backup. So if this supplier right here goes out of business, then you want to come down to this one. Again, this is just an example. All right. You want to make sure that this supplier can get this before you actually try to do business with just this guy and not have a backup. Okay. You want to make sure that you do your due diligence. I cannot stress that enough. Now, once you have all that, you figure out what you're going to sell. You talk to the supplier. They're going to hook you up. More than likely, you'll be using a supplier stock image. So you would take this, download this image, and Amazon wants it on a white background, roughly 1,000 by 1,000 pixels. It does have to be 1,000 on the long edge, but you want something that can roughly translate to 1,000 by 1,000 pixels, and we're going to go into that. So you would take this, edit it in something like Photoshop, or like right here, I have Photoshop, and you would want this to be on a white background. So you would just want the product to be there. If you're bundling anything, then you could include like, this image right here inside of that. If you're going to be bundling this and this together, does not have to come from the same supplier, but we'll also get into that in another video. Right now, we're just covering the basics. So if you guys have been following me, we're going to get to, creating like a mock listing. I'm going to show you guys how that works out. Now, before we get into that listing, you guys remember, having an LLC is nice. It will definitely help you in the long run. It is not necessary. Okay, but I highly recommend it. Here, your keyword research tool. This is just the one I use. You do not have to use this one. You can use something else. We're going to come back to this, when I show you how your listings are supposed to go. Here's AMZ Scout Pro. You guys can use Jungle Scout, Helium 10, Unicorn Smash, or I even think Viral Launch has one. You guys can use whatever you see fit. I just prefer this tool right here because it has been what's helped me for the longest time and helped, my Amazon students. You will need UPCs. Remember, nationwide barcode is where I get mine. You do not have to go here. You can go to eBay. You can go wherever you want. But if you get a bad batch, that's on you. You'll have to repurchase and go from there. These guys have never steered me wrong, end of discussion. As you can see, I'm just showing you the product research tool here, how it works, how you're going to interpret it, and what you're going to be using it for. But, obviously this is not the product you're going to be drop shipping. This is just an idea, guys. Okay. And then this is where you would go. You would find your supplier. As you can see, you could talk to your supplier. You would just say contact supplier. You guys would, work out whatever details like, hey, look, I want to drop ship. How do I do that with you? Blah, 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 so on and so forth. There are plenty of other suppliers that will also drop ship for you. This is not the only one, guys. This is not the only one. Remember that this is not the only supplier that will drop ship for you. There are others out there, and they will definitely work with you as long as you're viable, as long as you know what you're doing. Now that we got all of that out the way, make sure you get your product image, because sometimes you will not be able to sometimes you're not going to want to place an order for that product to do your product photography. Now, in some cases you might want to. If it's very expensive, you'll want to order one of those products, get product photography taken, so that way you can list it up and go from there. But in most cases, the products aren't going to be expensive enough to where you're gonna care. You're like, oh, whatever, if I get a return on like a $5 product, it's gonna be just fine. Now let's go ahead, let's get over to the listing part. Now this is one of our throwaway accounts. This is where we do a lot of testing. I do a buttload of testing in here. As you can see, these are all inactive. There's nothing active here. I usually toss these up to check them, make sure that they do well, and then drop them. And boom, if I'm doing a lot of FBA and I want to test to see if a product's good, I'll let them run for a little bit and then swap over and make that money. Now, there's going to be two ways that you can do this. You're going to have to create a listing first, obviously. you know, before you get here. Now, if you have variations of like size and color or material or whatever, it would be a good idea to use, you know, the variation, you know, wizard when you're creating it, or the template, or an Excel sheet. And we'll get into the Excel sheet in another video, but for now, this is what we're going to be working on. So this product is brand new. It is obviously not in Amazon's catalog because this is your product. You're creating something different. All right. And since we're going to be using, you know, picture hanging kits as our example, you would go over here, and I'm pretty sure it's in tools and home improvement. Let's see, hardware. You guys forgive me for a second. Let's go. Let's keep looking. Let's see. Picture hangers, here we go. And then, or you could use like shelf brackets and supports, but in this case, it's going to be picture hangers. We're going to select this right here. Let's create. Now your product ID. Oh, let's go to advanced view, guys. Remember this, you want advanced view turned on, so that way you can, you know, set everything up properly. Now, you know, for your product ID, remember UPCs, guys, UPCs right here. This is where you're going to put the UPCs that you purchased from GS1 or wherever else. Does not necessarily matter where you get them, as long as you know that they're good. You know, this is your product name, which you want it full of keywords, which you would come over here and find. As you can see, picture hangers, definitely a good one. You know, if you were doing sawtooth picture hangers, another good one. But see, notice how the search volume drops off. You know, still decent, but not all that great. Picture hanger kit, maybe. You know, picture mounting kit. Let's see. We'll just go ahead and go with picture. There's probably something that pops up there. There's picture frames. Oh, these are a lot of searches, but we're not doing frames, guys. Remember, we're not doing frames, we're doing hangers. So there we go. As we saw, picture hangers is pretty good. Picture hanging kit, 245,000 searches, pretty good. We would use that one, you know, all throughout. So remember, guys, you want to get, you know, strong keywords, because you're going to need them in the future when you're doing your listing. So we would just yank those, and, you know, we would put in, you know, blah, picture hanging, picture you know, hanging kit, so on and so forth, blah, blah, whatever, however you want to string your keywords together. We'll go through that in another video as well. Your brand name would be whatever your name is for your or whatever you want to create, whatever brand you would want to create. So usually most people will just go with their name, the name of their company. So if your company's Ebenezer or whatnot, we'll just go there. Let's select this, copy, Ebenezer. You know, it would usually be Ebenezer LLC or LTD or something like that. So LLC. You know, if there was a specific color, if there was a, you know, color that you wanted, then you would map that to a color map. This is if you had any variations of that item. You know, you can go by color, weight, display name, all this stuff. You know, maybe a different material. So maybe some of the maybe the kit comes in brass and ceramic. So maybe you have brass, you know, a brass type. So you might have you know, brass here and ceramic. Okay, whatever. Now you would add those variations, and then you would use the UPC. You would have, you know, UPCs for this. These are now child listings, and then this would be the parent listing. But let's, you know, not go too crazy into that. And obviously they would all be UPC. And then you would create a seller SKU. You could, whatever you would want it to be. It could be brass, you know, hang one, whatever, right? And then of course this would be new, and then you would set your price and your quantity, whatever quantity you would want it to be, because technically you're not going to be running out, but it is what it is. And then here's your offer. You would have your handling time based on your supplier. You know, if there is any type of restock date, if you're going to be out of stock, you would definitely want to put that in for when your supplier would do that, for would get more in. Obviously you're going to ship it yourself, you know, max order quantity if you want people getting all that, you know, gift wrapping available, yes, no, maybe, depending on your supplier, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Compliance, like here's some of the other things that you would need to go through. We'll go through this in another video, but you know, this is, you know, if you had batteries or, you know, any type of things like that, any type of chemicals, you know, just safety measures for you know, for that product. You know, this is where these images, if you know, you would download them, edit them, and then you would put those in, boom, pop your main image here. And remember, this is going to be for your parent listing. If you created any type of variations, this listing you're doing now is now the parent, and you would put your photos in there. And then once you created it, you would go to the child listings underneath. You know, there will be a little arrow, and you click it, you'd open up the child listings, and you would edit those pictures. You know, here's where you put in your bullet points. So you would want to make sure that they are, you know, capable. You want to entice the buyer. You know, you want to make sure that you use good keywords. Same thing with the product description, list of importance, title, bullet points, product description. Okay, remember that. And then here's where you would put in your back end search terms. As you can see, here's some of mine, but you know, whatever. So some of these back end search terms, you will be you'll be using, not some of them, but you know, all of them. Now they can be comma delimited, they cannot be comma delimited. So what I mean is you could just type some in, you know, like electric, you know, bat, and then electric, whatever, you know, chicken. I mean, obviously they would coincide, but I'm just, you know, giving you examples here. They do not have to be separated by a comma. Amazon is intelligent enough to know so. I would recommend that until you know what you're doing. Separate them by a comma, just so that way it cleans it up and makes it a little bit easier for you. What is this intended use? You know, is this for indoor, you know, outdoor? What's the target audience? You know, is this for adults, consumer, whatever it is? You know, what other attributes are, you know, does it have, you know, you're not a platinum merchant, so this is something that you don't need to worry about for quite some time. Okay, guys, like just skip over that one. And then more details like, you know, the weight and flow, all this stuff, right? This is if you would need it. Now, you're probably not going to need it for a lot of things, but you can if you so choose. There's a lot of stuff to fill in here. I don't always fill it in. I'm telling you guys that right now. There's a lot of things that I do not fill in back here because it is not necessary for some of the products that I list. Now, some of them I do, but nope. A lot of them I don't. So that is how you'll go in here and create your listing. And then you would, once you're finished, you would click save and finish. It would create said listing, and boom, there you go. So from start to finish, guys, remember, you want to, obviously you need a professional seller's account, by the way. Give you guys a heads up. I'm so sorry about that. You will need a professional seller's account on Amazon, right? On Amazon, on Seller Central. You'll need that. Is the package. It's $39.99 per month. You will need that. You cannot get away with a free account. Let me reiterate that. You cannot get away with a free account because you will be gated in a lot of things that you need. Trust me, you absolutely 100% need to have a professional seller's account. So let's go ahead, get that out the way. Now, LLC, if you so choose, don't necessarily need one, but it does help and will make things a little bit easier for you. You will need a keyword research tool. You know, I use Merchant Words. You don't have to use Merchant Words. You could use Helium 10 or something else. You will need a product research tool, AMZ Scout. I use it, absolutely love it. It's something that I'm going to continue using. Again, you don't have to use it, but if you so choose, there is a link in the description below. You can check that out. You will need UPC codes, guys. I'm sorry, UPCs, not UPC codes. I don't know why all Amazon sellers say that, but you will need UPCs. All right, you will need UPCs because that is how you're going to list your products. I showed you that exactly. All right, in the discussion, you need UPCs. Done and done. Also, here you go. You will need your product research tool, as I mentioned before, but this is it in action. You would go over to an Amazon, to an Amazon category. You'd search for something, bring up your product research tool, and boom, it would give you an idea if this is a good product to go with. You'll have to find a supplier for said product once you find something that you want to sell, and then, you know, more than likely have to use factory images. So you would download this, edit it so it's on a white background, so on and so on. And then you would come over here and create your listing, with your info and all that stuff. And now that you put in a UPC, and if you had variations, you would use those you would use other UPCs for those child listings. So, you know, if you create a listing and then add variations, this listing becomes the parent, and then these two become the child listings. And, you know, you would just go in and fill in all of those things you know, that I mentioned. So there we go. That's how you guys will get into manual drop shipping on I'm sorry, not on eBay, but on Amazon. Okay, this is exactly how you do it. Obviously there's a few more things. We can't go into super detail because that would take hours and hours and hours, and I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to sit here for hours and hours and hours. But that is the basics, guys. That's the gist of it, and that is how you are going to, you know, make it happen. All right, so if you guys have any questions, make sure you comment down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Let me know if you guys need anything. Hopefully you guys found this informative. I will see you a little bit later. You guys know what to do. Be safe, be smart. I'll catch you in the next one.